Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio. Tonight, Freya herself, Danielle Bisutti, is crashing game night with us. I welcome in my co-host, as always, Gerard Brewer, as well as our version of Loki, Theo Wolski. How's everyone doing tonight?
Hello, all my fellow nerds and comic book readers. What's going on?
Loki, you prankster.
Why am I Loki today?
Well, hold on, though. There's also Loki the prankster, but there's also Loki, who's the other name of Atreus.
That's true. And I
You know.
much of a did what you would my friend Hilton Sweeney, and I don't know if I forgive him for that just yet.
Yeah. So, Danielle, how have you been? You've been on a nice year-long whirlwind tour.
Oh my God, it's been like anything. I could have never expected this. I mean, you dream about, oh, so sorry, someone's trying to call in. You dream about being part of a project that is regarded as a masterpiece, as embraced by the audience, touching lives. But I never thought it would come by way of being a part of a video game. It was, as you guys know, or you may or may not know, it was my first audition for anything having to do with performance capture. So it really took me by surprise, which is why I think it's so special, is because it was like a left turn from what I had expected, but also equally as rewarding.
Well, I can remember when we all talked at E3 last year with you and Cory at the time, and you were just in awe of everybody just coming up and knowing who Cory was and talking to him, and now you've gone from that to 190 awards.
I mean, I take zero credit. I'm going to tell you that right now. All the
Oh,
credit
no,
goes
you can
to
totally take credit with that performance. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I take credit for that. Yes, indeed. But these geniuses at Sony Santa Monica, I mean, talk about hitting the lottery. Yeah, I feel like Willy Wonka was the golden ticket, clearly, because, first of all, wait, did I just say solidarity?
You're fine.
Yeah.
Do you see what's happening here? Now I feel like a real gamer. Like, this is
Hey, you can all join us.
Totally.
these little baby bows. These little baby bows aren't going to cut it. But what were we just saying? I just got distracted by my bows.
Hey, bows are worthy of getting, some distraction there. So,
You were,
but yeah, we'll get in.
You got the golden ticket, and you were happy to be a part of the project.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Cory Barlog, we sing his praises all the time, and rightfully so. He's beyond being a genius. He's a risk taker. He's kind. He's a wonderful director, someone that created a very sacred space for all of us actors that, basically we got to come in and play. Like, so really lucky. We had no idea the toils and the tribulations and the challenges of reinventing a franchise that was so like cemented in the fan base,
very coveted,
in the narrative, and I would have not known in a million years the adversity and the what they were having. I mean, as a team, what they were having to recreate this and the risk that it was. I was just coming in like, oh, cool, the Norse goddess Freya. This is awesome. I get to speak strange Norse words.
So in turn to that, did you have to do mocap work and work in a soundstage?
100%. It was all mocap.
Oh, awesome!
Oh, wow.
So how did you like having the little dots all over you?
Oh, it was just using makeup at its finest. They were so annoyed with me because I love having my lipstick and my mascara. So every now and then I would try to like wear a little mascara or a little, and they're like, Danielle, we're gonna have to take it off of you. We don't know how many times we're gonna animate your face. I'm like, which I guess for Witch of the Woods, but Freya is the goddess of beauty, and I was like, guys,
and you're stripping me.
So in doing all of the mocap. So in doing all of the mocap work, did that really test you as an actor? Did you get to work with any props, or did they set up like any like situations for you, or was it all just pure like imagination and direction from Cory?
That's a great question. So it was not challenging for me because it was a lot like theater or like black box theater where
Awesome.
you have few props.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the scenes, I mean, as you know, we did the whole no-cut camera. So, like, for example, that scene where, do I have to say spoiler alert, or has everyone played the game by now?
I'm sorry. After a year,
yeah.
I mean,
think
it's been out long
out
enough.
of.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
It's-
no
it's-
And win a
spoilers.
game of the year. I think you're good. Yeah.
We're
Okay. So that
We're-
last scene where, of course,
Mhm.
I'm holding Balder and I'm weeping, I'm cursing a certain person. I still want to play it safe. That was a very long scene. I don't even remember how many pages, 6 pages. And we did the entire scene. We choreographed the whole thing. And I don't know if you guys have seen any behind the scenes stuff, but our course through Cory's direction. I mean, he was like a character weaving in and out of us. He knew exactly when to come up on Freya's face and when to turn the camera and capture Kratos. And Chris is so brilliant. He'd always have this tear. Listen up, boy. I am from a place called Sparta. And he coming down, and Cory was like right there. I was like, I don't know how they're doing it. And so it was like this living, breathing organism, which is very much like theater. But I will tell you the challenging part. So that wasn't challenging. But what was challenging was the equipment on your body, because it's all performance capture, right? So
Right.
you have a pack on your belly, you have a helmet on your head, you have a camera that's like in your face. That part took a little bit of getting adjusted to, but after, just like anything, you become acclimated, it fully disappeared and we could just be in the moment.
Awesome. And
So-
I did see some of the behind the scenes work, and it seemed, I don't know Cory's background other than video games, but it seemed that he was very comfortable being a director, and I could I've worked in film and television before, and it seemed like he would be very comfortable doing some sort of TV series or even a movie.
From your lips, God's ears, my friend. From your lips, the God of War's ears. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that Cory can't do. I think he's peaked as an artist, as a director, as a storyteller. I feel that way about a lot of people. Actually, you guys that were part of this project, I don't know personally a lot of people. I hadn't met anybody at Sony Santa Monica prior to this, but it seems like to me as an entity, everything from graphic design to the lighting. Can we talk about
Oh yeah.
the light? I was like, I'm watching a movie. I was so blown away. I mean, the music,
Yeah.
Bear McCreary, who's like I'm like this. Like I tried not to fangirl out when I met him, but it was like.
Yeah, to me, it totally looked like Cory has the eye. Like he could, I would totally trust his first project if he ever said, I'm planning on directing a movie.
See, I'm so happy. I want the whole world to hear you say that. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think it's coming. I mean, I can't. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I feel it's coming. I feel
Hopefully.
it's coming.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
So for everybody that's listening on our podcast, let's give them a little bit of background for you, Danielle. Is everybody knows you as Freya, also as Hexala in Dwight in Shining Armor. That you've been promoting that like crazy. However, BYU TV only has up through episode 6 on it right now, so your episodes aren't on yet. But you started off doing like single episode appearances on shows like Charmed and 2.5 Men and Bones. Then you went on to be like main cast for Nickelodeon's True Jackson VP. And then, you went on to guest star with some of the last decade's biggest shows, really. I mean, when you look at NCIS,
Yeah.
NCIS LA, CSI, Criminal Minds, Castle, which Jerry and I are huge fans of Nathan Fillion.
I love that show.
I mean, great. He fell in love. He's the greatest.
Mm-hmm. And then,
You
then
didn't
you moved.
mention Parks and Rec. I'm surprised.
Which one?
Oh, I was gonna say Parks and Rec.
Oh,
I
Parks
wasn't
and Rec.
That
Well,
was a fun one.
yeah. I've never seen Parks and Rec.
That was the best, Swanson.
Yeah.
Ron Swanson's one of the greatest characters ever created.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I feel like it, like where shows like The Big Bang, or The Office, like you have like these people that are devotees. I'm at the gym and I have people going, Professor Linda, like,
Yes.
and I'm thinking, oh my God, like Parks and Recreation, like, people really love that show.
Oh, I love that show.
So, and what's funny is you moved to film, and one of the, you did Curse of Chucky.
Yes.
But one of the films that my buddy, that is in acting, he does bit parts here and there. He brought up, which I didn't realize until I saw at IMDb, was Insidious Chapter 2 and Last Key. And he was like, the second I said your name, he was like, Insidious. That's where he went right there. He knew exactly who you were, the movie, everything. So what's it been like working with some of the biggest stars on TV and some of those stars that have moved on to film? I mean, you look at what Chris Pratt, talking about Parks and Rec and stuff, what he's kind of gone on to be.
I remember when I was his women's studies professor, and now he's gone to do really great things. So I take a little credit for that because I taught him. Excuse me. And I'm sure he's just as nice now. Met him, super, super nice guy. Actually, was probably one of the kindest energy on that set. Such so kind, so nice, very much to what I experienced on Dwight in Shining Armor and at Sony Santa Monica. Don't always, guys. You don't always get that in Hollywood. I mean, it's really a pleasure to work on that. Yeah. I got one of the first big jobs I ever got was on a show called Austin Williams and James Spader, and I remember a makeup trailer, like, again, trying not.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Danielle? Danielle cut out there just a little? Uh-oh. You still there?
All of his,
Danielle?
I'm speaking, Can you hear
there we
me?
go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You cut out there for a second. It was the greatest free shot. It was like...
No, I was talking about working with William Shatner and James Spader for the first time in Boston Legal.
Boston Legal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great show as well.
So good. I mean, David E. Kelley's one of the best writers in as far as I'm concerned in the industry. I mean, in my humble opinion. And so I was very thrilled to be able to be in that show. And then, of course, trying not to fangirl out with, Captain Kirk when he walks inside the freaking makeup trailer. He walks in and he looks at me and he goes, fresh meat.
That's great.
Oh my God.
He was so giddy. He was like, oh, fresh meat. And who are you? And I was like, oh, God. Beam me up, Scotty. I am a little embarrassed right now. But yeah, and then my scenes were with James Spader and Dana Delaney, who's incredible. I watched her on China Beach. And yeah, it's been a lot of that, like, I mean, working with James on Cities Chapter, on Mancini, Brad Dourif, the voice of Rocky, Jonah, very close. Yeah, I've been a lot of fantastic artists of what they're doing, so I feel blessed.
Who's been your favorite one to work with? And we can't, take Cory out because we know how you love Cory. But who's been your in TV and film? Who's been your favorite actor, actress, director to even work with?
Director. Oh my God. How can I say one? Then the other ones won't hire me. So I'm going to say all of the directors I've worked. James Wan, I liken him to, like, he had a very Willy Wonka-esque quality to him where it was like mystical, magical, but a little maniacal. Like, I felt like I was in the rowboat and I didn't know which way the rowers were rowing. It got a little weird. Wonderful, but I'm playing the mother of death, so things were about to get strange on that set. Don Mancini wrote an incredible script. In fact, I had no idea it was a Chucky film when I auditioned. It was just this, like, really funny, dark comedy family drama, and then enter the, like, 2-foot redheaded stepchild, which is known as Chucky. And I was like, holy cow, I can't believe it was a child's play film. And I was super happy to be in it. I thought it was brilliantly written. And a lot of the fans liked our Curse of Chucky because it brought it back to the origins of like who Chucky is. Just basically he's an actor. I don't know if you guys knew that.
So
he's constantly trying to kill people, and he keeps coming back.
how do you feel about the new Child's Play reboot then, since you were part of that franchise?
So I heard about this the other day, and not from Dawn Mancini, who I think I owe a phone call to. I had thought they were going to be doing this as a TV show. Are you talking about the movie?
Yeah, the movie
with Mark Hamill as Chucky
and Aubrey Plaza.
And Aubrey Plaza, who I adore. She was phenomenal in Parks and Rec. I don't know how I feel about it yet because I haven't talked to Dawn, to be honest with you. I mean, I hope that they do right by him. I hope they do right. I mean, sure they will. It's Mark Hamill. It's Aubrey Plaza. But I actually don't know what went into that decision because honestly, the last I heard, they were doing a TV show. And then, of course, they did Cult. And my friend Fiona, who's totally brilliant, like was amazing in that. So I don't know what's going on with that. Is Jennifer Tilly, was she announced?
I don't think she was announced in it either.
Let's find out.
So it feels a little weird, but I don't know what's going on.
I think it was a complete reboot where they're like, it's a complete fresh cast.
Right. We're also,
yeah, so Aubrey Plaza, Mark Hamill, those are the big names, really. There's no one else really big on it, really. Yeah, no Jennifer Tilly or anything.
Well, you can't go wrong with Mark Hamill, and he's voicing Chucky.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting, right? Because much like, so then there's God of War. So you're like used to a certain thing. And I'm sure, these are all consummate artists. They're going to do their take on it. So I'm rooting them on. That's all I can say.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize, Mark's been doing that stuff for ages because he's the original animated Joker.
Oh, just to some, he is Joker.
Yeah.
To the most, he is Joker. Yeah.
Just like Kevin Conroy will always be Batman.
Batman.
He is the Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can do Mark's legs.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
So.
But Will Arnett in the Lego movie was.
Yeah.
Will Arnett is he is a good Lego Batman. I like him too.
Most definitely.
So that movie is so
Bring in the Craggle.
Is there a little lab?
So, all right. So we know kind of how you said about the scenes, though. But how was it working with Cory in terms of as a director compared to your film jobs? Was he just as demanding as some of those directors were on set for TV, or was he a little bit more laid back with the mocap and everything?
Cory is a Virgo.
That says a lot.
So Virgos are meticulous. Mm-hmm. And so Cory always knew exactly what he wanted, but he also was respectful and trusted us as actors to live in the moment. So I feel if remember, this was now 5 years ago, over a 4-year period for me when I had no idea what the hell I was involved in.
So what was Go ahead.
Always, yeah. I was going to say, I remember clearly always feeling very trusted and safe. And when he got what he needed, he was ready to move on. But he would always say, "Do you want another one?" And he was always open to that.
I like that.
That's
always,
fantastic.
yeah, that's great.
Good for the actor, yeah.
So what was the audition like?
Well, I thought I was auditioning for Game of Thrones. So basically, I was channeling my best Daenerys Targaryen / Lady Stark speech. And I mean, Matt and Rich are like two of the most talented writers. I mean, they keep winning Best Narrative. They won the BAFTA. I love those guys. They're so brilliant. So it was just this beautiful speech. It had a like.
Oh, she's frozen again.
Just when I finally got this to work.
She's frozen. You there, Danielle?
Am I there?
Yeah, you froze there for a minute. Are you back?
Oh,
There you are. I can hear your voice.
am I back?
Yep, there you go.
There we go.
This is why you don't have 1,800 things open.
Jeez. It's a fair statement.
Yep.
If I close stuff,
Yeah,
will it
closing
help if I close
it-
things?
generally helps a little bit. We'll cut this part out. Don't worry.
Oh, the wonders of editing.
Exactly.
Right.
Sorry.
This part exciting. Yeah, a few things. So
Yeah.
it was just a beautiful beach. And there was a lot of depth in it. Oh, there's me. I've missed you.
There you go.
Ben.
There you go.
He's back.
All right. Yeah, he's been having a little bit of difficulties with his
Technical difficulties. The IT guy having the IT.
I know,
issues.
right? So, with that, what research?
32 tabs.
32. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm closing. I hope I restore my session. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. Okay. So, with that being said, did you do any research for the role? Or did you just go in thinking, like you said, it was like Game of Thrones type?
I did. Well, at first, as I said, I didn't know. I just closed out my mail too. Good God in heaven, this is so much better. Okay. Oh, good Lord, I should have done that. I told you I wasn't technically savvy. So yeah, so all of these studios are very protective of their IP, which is understandable.
Yep.
They don't want anything leaking, like not even the wrong word to. So I had this beautiful speech from Freya, who I didn't know was Freya.
Right.
They calling her Witch in the Woods? I don't even know what they were calling her. It was a beautiful speech about how I had the Vanir people, and then they felt that I betrayed them, and it was just like there was all this emotion, and I was like, oh, I could do that. I just pretend that I'm, Khaleesi, Mother of Dragons, so I get the job. And then when I showed up to the table read, I was at Sony, and so I knew it was a Sony interactive game. That was all I knew. And I was standing in the waiting area, about to go onto the sound stages to join the other actors and the writers and producers. And behind me was this beautiful big oil painting of Kratos.
Oh
Wow.
I know. Kratos sans the beard, which, by the way, I think he's better with the beard. I think he's much sexier with the beard. I'm just gonna put that right. I don't like that.
Totally agree.
Yeah. The man with a beard, I'm like, yeah.
You would, Jerry. You would.
Totally
yeah, you would,
agree.
Jerry.
So I'm sorry. Matt, I don't mean any.
No, it's all right. I just don't like I have a little bit of scruff, but I don't go full on like Jerry. I just don't like it. And I mean, heck, when my hair gets longer than finger length, I'm like, okay, time to axe it all off. So that's his preference.
You can. I have baby face forever.
Well, yeah.
on you.
So what was your reaction when you finally realized it was God of War? We lose her again?
Mm-mm.
There.
It's me.
There she is.
Oh,
Sorry guys. It looks like my Wi-Fi is good.
Yeah.
And there's the painting, and I turned around and I looked at Cory, and I was like, is that God of War? I'm like, I think I know that game. And he goes, yeah, that is. He goes, that's the game that you're currently cast in, and this is the table read that you're at.
Oh.
Not that it was my fault by any means. Like, no one told me what it was. I didn't even know I was Freya. And then when I went in and read, I was like, oh, okay, I probably would. I did my research.
And there at least have to be some brownie points
Love
given
that.
for at least identifying the oil painting.
I hope so. That was embarrassing. Oh.
There had to be brownie points for that. Because I mean, like, if you just went in and you're just like, oh, who's the muscular guy?
Yeah.
So
Who's that guy that's totally intimidating? Yeah.
So Danielle, before we move into all the different questions that got asked of us as we've been tweeting the last couple of days with everybody, I want to talk about some news that I think you can give some great insight, not only because you did the voice acting in God of War, but you are also, doing your own short film. You're doing projects and stuff like that. But the one tidbit of gaming news that came out this week was there was an article on Polygon regarding Epic Games and the Fortnite team, that they've been working 70 to 100 hours a week. And even though that time is not mandatory, employees feel they can't take time off because people have been dismissed for missing deadlines. So management's ignored it. This is now the second studio in a couple of weeks, the first one being BioWare, with the same type of complaints. So from you, first and foremost, Danielle, as a voice actor, how do you feel when you hear that about projects you're involved with, and how do you try and limit that as a project coordinator with like your short film?
Oh, you have to treat your people with kind respect. There's this funny thing about human nature, right? Steps in, I don't know why they're making decisions like that, but it seems like there's been plenty of success with Fortnite, and if these hardworking individuals who I don't know, and I don't know the situation, but if they're getting sick or they're not having the appropriate time with their family, or they're needing, the things need to be balanced, then you have to do it. I mean, look, my short, I mean, this is the third thing that I've produced that I've been a part of writing, and with my partner. And so we're a low budget short film, but we are absolutely trying to take care of our people to the best we can. We're also going to do a GoFundMe to try to raise more funds so that we can really pay people well. There's a component to our short film. Our lead character is an artist, and then he discovers this young girl who's this genius painter. So we want to be able to pay the people whose art we're going to be showcasing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Everyone runs. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, well, I'm an artist, so we're not just free songwriter. Someone's like, hey, can I play? Well, I do. You know what I mean? That's what these people do. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's sad, and I hope that there's a compromise that can be met. And I hope that these people who are working really hard to make one of the most popular games in the entire universe are treated fairly.
And that's, I mean, that's how I feel too, is I think you absolutely have to have a work-life balance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
because that can really lead to other, harmless things, depression, or even just all of that can go into a downward spiral. I mean, you need that balance.
You need that balance. It's how we have gravity. It's why we're not flying off this orb we call planet Earth. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Danielle, we've got a lot of great questions for you. There was some I did go through, and there were some questions that people asked. I was like, it's probably not really appropriate, but so I'm going to start off with a question that is from a friend of our podcast, who is a game director, Paul Roshinsky. He directed Drive Club for the PlayStation. He works over at Slightly Mad Studios over in London. And we're going to have him back on the podcast here in a couple weeks, which is going to be great.
Rashi.
Yep. So he was stating that, so for God of War being the first game that you worked on as an actress, especially according to IMDb, and you've even said that yourself, was there anything interesting that surprised you about game development versus film and how they were made?
Well, I would say the length of time, although you hear these stories about feature films win the Oscar. this. So anything from what I mean, you could just go back and look at all of these films. Anything he's taken, and the individuals involved typically not, but have done seasoned people. Maybe not all the time. Maybe it out of the participation, but the only thing that was a little different was well, no, I mean, I was an Insidious. James Wan really loved that, like choreography with the camera. So where the camera cut because the element of surprise was just around the corner. So I can't really say the no cut camera. I mean, possibly just the technical aspect of it. And of course, the absolute amazement when, you know, Mimir's head is a basketball on a tether, and you know.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
And it kept hitting me back in the face. It was a lot of fun, but you
I
know, yeah.
I could just see Cory with that going with like, okay, pretend this is a head,
Right?
Yeah.
and having to be taken seriously. So
This is a talking head with an Irish accent.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah, or like my boar. What did we even use for the boar? I think it was just like these pads that were like wrapped in like towels or whatever, and you know, things are marked with the green balls for the like green screen aspect and the markers and everything. So, I mean, that's the part where you have to suspend your belief, your sense of belief and imagination kicks in. But again, it's very much like theater. So I think the only thing difference for me was the technical aspect. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So the next question comes from a prior guest of ours, Chris Adams from the RVA Returners. They're a group that do a lot of content creation for the Final Fantasy trading card game, and they actually have a lot going on. They're pretty big on that side. His question for you was, what is your idea of a perfect Sunday?
Ooh, good question.
Sunday?
A perfect Sunday.
Perfect Sunday.
Sunday? Wow. Well, so it would be service at my church, and then it would promptly be a big brunch by the ocean where there was like really great jazz music happening and all you can drink mimosas. And
All right.
it's definitely got seafood and lots of like egg benedicty kind of things happening, and I'm with like all my friends and or family members and or, you know, just people that I love. Well, okay, so then probably walk, bike, or hike something in nature, because I've just eaten so much food that I can't really move, so I'm gonna have to I'm imagining I'm going to have to move my body at some point. Maybe a little light shopping if I'm by 3rd Street Promenade, because, I mean, after all, I'm in Santa Monica at this point. And, oh, I know. Okay, so shopping, it's totally impulsive, but it's fun. And then at some point, I'm going to roll into either Casa del Mar or Shutters or La Mertage, and I'm gonna get a massage because the food all needs to be massaged by all the eating and shopping and walking.
This is a great Sunday. This is the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is.
Oh, you asked me. I'm gonna give it to you. And then it's definitely then at that I'm brought back to someone's house. It could be mine. It could be a friend. And there's a feast so there's a lot of eating involved, guys. There's a feast that's being prepared and lots of red wine, because at about 7 or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock if we're watching the feed here, we're watching Game of Thrones. And in my universe, that show never ever ends. Can you imagine? Khaleesi's like 80 years old and she's still writing her
jeez.
So it ends with Game of Thrones.
All right. So speaking of Game of Thrones, though, how do you feel about the season so far? Without talking about any real spoilers,
Don't spoil it for me. I'm trying to catch up.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I can say something that's not gonna spoil it. It's just going so fast.
Yeah.
It's just going so fast. You know, the luxury we had prior was that like it was unfurling and scenes they could really take a minute to like discover something, and we've had some big discoveries with some of our big characters, and it felt like the writers were like, okay, we only have 2 pages to get this out, how do we do it? And I'm thinking, no, I want to hear them deliberate, I want to hear them question, and by the way, let's talk about the fact that we really need another love scene between Jon and Daenerys, because I'm going to be honest with you, that first one where they finally like get together, I'm like, it wasn't enough. I needed more kissing. I needed more. I needed to understand the way that they were loving each other. That was just like, bam, bam, done. Tyrion's like, whoa, and then we're out. I'm like, I have waited 5 seasons. How many? 6 seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like some of those shows that got canceled too early too. It's like let's take Star Trek Enterprise for instance. You know, when they finally found out that they were being canceled, they threw like 2 years into one final season and kind of rushed things a little bit. So, all right.
We said, and they do, and it's not.
Well,
I'm a little sad.
all right. All right, so our next question for you comes from Twitter, and one of my followers at the Circle Button, and his question for you is have you ever influenced the writing of a character that you've played or voiced? And is there another game franchise that you want to be a part of as a voice actor?
Ever influenced? There have been moments on set, maybe more so in some of the comedies that I've done, where they allowed you know, or circle 10. Oh no, wait. 3 times out of 10, it'll make it in. Nothing. I didn't influence anything script or narrative wise with Freya, except for just what I brought. And then what the other question was?
The other question,
game franchises.
Yeah, that you would want to be a part of.
Yeah, The Last of Us.
Oh,
there you go.
That would be a good one.
Good choice for this group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would just love to work with Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann over there. I tried not to fangirl on him too. I don't know if I pulled it off. I would love to voice something fun and crazy in Fortnite. There was this, I had a voice audition the other day for the Ice Queen, and I thought I nailed it. I was like, I am going to be this Ice Queen, and it didn't happen, which made me sad. But I would love to do something fun like that.
I can see you as a quirky, dynamic character, like in a Red Dead Redemption, or a Grand Theft Auto character would be fun.
I don't know if I can do Grand Theft.
Oh, really?
I get when with violence, it's interesting for me. Like, there's violence in God of War with the mythology and with our narrative. Sorry, my phone's blowing. I somehow it didn't bother me. If I'm looking, so I can't say because I've never sat through a full game of Grand Theft, but from what I've known, from what I've heard, there's been a little violence and a little bit of maybe a little misogyny or violence with women, and so I'm like, I don't know, but they could turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, with the gameplay, I meant with more of the storyline, because the characters and the storyline is quite dynamic, and like a lot of the side characters or strangers are a bit can be quirky and are a little imaginative, but something along those lines, because the Grand Theft Auto 5 was based in Los Angeles, and like so you meet actors or like a photographer trying to make it big, so it was just there's a lot of play to be a character and to have fun with it.
Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. I have more games. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
So, The Last of Us for sure. I love the people that did Detroit.
Quantic,
Human.
Quantic Dream.
Yeah, I thought that was incredible. I was really close to getting this part in a certain project. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. Oh, maybe not. Well,
No.
Playing games. It was Call of Duty. And, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but it was a really fantastic role. Reminded me of Homeland, like a character Homeland, which I thought would be fun to do. Anything Insomniac does, I love those guys. And of course, this Insomniac game together, and we ran into war. I don't know, since high school. I don't know how many years that is. It was pretty great. So, my dog. Yeah, there's so many great narratives happening, and I'm reading storytelling.
I could definitely see you, Danielle, playing a character within the Horizon world.
Oh yeah, Horizon. Yeah. Is that Uncharted?
No, so Horizon was the one, Horizon Zero Dawn, which is the one that had Aloy as the main character. I could definitely see you fitting in with one of the tribe hierarchies, similar to like a Freya type and whatnot.
And yeah, that'd be a pretty easy transition. At least doing off of God of War and everything. It's kind of the same style.
Yep.
It's a similar style. Well, I would love to do that. I like things that are tribal. I like playing witches and goddesses, as you know. Oh, also, so it was Death Stranding, right? That's an interesting stuff.
I'm
looking forward to that one.
I can't wait.
It's got my interest. I'm curious.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So our next question, which is something that you and I both liked the comments from, so it was, and I'm gonna apologize to him right now. It was the Twitter follower was Katul1776. So Katul Majmuder. So I apologize if I, mispronounced your name, Katul. I'm sorry, but his question was, in what ways did you grow as an actor throughout the God of War project?
Well, I definitely feel like there was some there. It's by way of how I felt comfortable as Freya grew. The one disadvantage that you have, or at least I experienced in this game, was because it was span over 4 years, continuity was it's not like getting a film script and shooting it within a month's time. Keeping that thread of Freya. I mean, thank God I had my notes. I mean, that's just for me, like, to go back and sort of read and sort of get back into the embodiment of who she was. So yeah, I think it made me grow in that way, which was, how do I stay somewhat tethered to what it was I created when it's been like 6 months since I've seen these people. And I'm like, wait, who am I? What am I doing on putting the suit back on? Okay. So it kept me very studious. So sort of I feel like I with and filling space, because it was a little in there. I don't.
All right. She back? Uh-oh.
See me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
There you are. There you are.
Okay. Where was I? Was I talking about how I grew?
Yes, how you grew, and then you ended up kind of being like a Verizon commercial, like back in the day, where it was like every other word cutting out, which we can edit out. No, it's all right. Hey,
okay.
Honestly, last week I had issues and I had to cut out like 2 minutes because I completely went frozen and cut out everything. So
I don't even know how it's still recorded when you did that.
Should I walk you to my bedroom bedroom where my modem is? Would that be better?
Ding.
Do you want me to try that to go closer to my modem?
It might not be bad.
Sure,
It's
why
up
not?
to you.
Sure.
As long as you're comfortable.
Yes, as long as you're comfortable and.
Don't look at my house messy. Don't look at my messy house. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Oh, light.
Hey, you don't even want to see my apartment after my 2-year-old decides he wants to play with all his toys.
Oh. Well, hold on. See, that could be good. There's another chandelier, and then there's my modem. I can do this. Take that off of there. You can't know all of Freya's secrets, you guys. Oh, wait, but you guys might appreciate this. Behind my little vision board is my Jon Snow.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
He
Awesome.
protects me. He keeps me safe at night. He's just hanging out there for me, waiting for me. Okay. And here's some more lighting.
Yep.
All
I
right.
think you're fine. Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Some side lighting. Okay, here we go.
All right. So we'll rewind it and go back to that question. So
Okay.
from our Twitter follower that was part of our conversation, Katul1776, and Katul, I'm going to apologize if I mispronounce your last name, but Majmuder, he asked, in what ways did you grow as an actor throughout the God of War project?
Yes, good question. Well, so what I was saying is the main learning curve, or the biggest learning curve, wasn't the research, wasn't even necessarily the technical aspect. It was keeping continuity between 4 years of shooting this thing, right? So sometimes I would go in and I would do a day or two, and then I wouldn't hear from Sony for 6 months, and then I would have to come back and sort of reimagine, not recreate, but like step back into what it was that I had created, and wanting to make sure that there was some consistency. And it took me a moment to really find her voice, because unlike a feature film where you sort of get the whole script and you sort of create this thing, and then you come on set, and then for a month you shoot and then you're done. It was sort of a piecemeal situation. So at times I wasn't quite sure if I found her. And then I remember a little early on, Cory had said something like, even though she's this goddess, and there's like a regal quality to that, and she's this witch, and she's a goddess of many things, there's this earth quality, and there's this sort of like where she is now, sort of relegated to Midgard, and all the things that happened, where she kind of like devil may care. And he goes, just throw a little Han Solo into it. And I was like,
Nice. I like
Wow.
That's the most
Alright.
interesting tip I've ever heard.
that. That was a good note.
I was like, I know that guy, because when my family growing up, that the Holy Trinity was the Bible, pasta, and Star Wars. Those like what we did all the time. So
Wow.
I promptly had a dream that night, and Han Solo did come to visit me. And there were things that happened in that dream which I cannot say on this podcast. But I will tell you that I came back to the next shoot day, and a shift happened. There was definitely this casual, like, I got this.
Nice.
I love mentality. Where like she's like Kratos. She's like, go away. I'm still a god. Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? So I was really, that was my learning curve. Yeah, it was finding her and keeping her consistent over 4 years, which forced me to grow as an actor.
So when you say that you had to go, you go 2 days, wouldn't hear back for like 6 months. How was that with your other projects, those schedules, as well as, you were performing singing wise and everything? How did that kind of mess with things?
I think that's poor Sony. Whoever was doing that scheduling, Jamie Baffis, our amazing casting director, who should have gotten an award too, because she and Cory both have a great eye. It must have been challenging. I mean, they had to juggle a lot of different components, and then all of the actors' schedules. So I think it was probably frustrating for them. I never really had too many issues. I wasn't really out of town during times that they needed me. I just happened to be available. I mean, there were periods where I was busier than others, which, happens for most actors. So that wasn't really an issue.
Nice.
That's really crazy to imagine 4 years of having actors just come in periodically, where I'm sure you're used to, when you get a part, you're going to be on set for a few weeks or a few days where it's consistent and you can stay in the character. But that has to be very challenging when, like you said, coming in, trying to find your character again after a few months. That's really tough.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know if I'm talking like her anymore. I have no idea.
Yeah, you have to completely find it again. And that's crazy.
That was hard.
What are some ways that you actually end up finding her voice again? Like, do you keep notes in order to refer back to when you get back on behind the mic and everything, or do you just have to like refresh something?
I'm trying to see if I have my folder of notes. Like, I'm sitting here. No, wait, hold on. What do I have here? Oh, I have a script from Mom. I have a script from when I did Mom.
Oh,
no,
that's nice.
I am a note taker. I've always been that way. I was always that way in school as well. I'm a researcher. I like to do all of the sort of cerebral, brainy type stuff so that I've got it all in, and then like I digest it into my body, and then like the dancer yogi in me that lets it like become more of a in my body physical thing, and then the singer in me sort of finds the tonality and the cadence and the rhythm. So it was all sort of coming together, but like I said, it trust me, it wasn't all there at the table. I just was get fired. No, I was certain I was going to get fired. I was like, because there's Chris Judge, and he's like, boy, and I'm thinking, this guy with that voice, and I'm like, like there was Alistair and then and Adam and like these really talented and Robert Craighead, and I was like, these guys have done this before, and I don't know what I'm doing. Why did they cast me? It's a good thing I look like Wonder Woman. Apparently Cory really liked Wonder Woman growing up, so thank God.
I mean, in Chris's defense, though, a lot of his characters have all been that same type of brooding voice anyway, so it's not kind of hard to get back into that.
It's true. I don't know if he had any issues or not, but it took me a second to find her. But once I did, and then of course I always was referring back to my notes. In fact, Cory did a series of tweets recently. I don't know if you guys saw, where he was sort of showing behind the scenes. And we're all, and there's a really great shot of me in my suit with Matt, one of our writers and the head writer at Sony Santa Monica, Matt Sophos, and he's got his little red notebook, and I've got my little. We're like two little nerds. We're like working, and like that was basically like me the whole time. And you'll see pictures. I still have my pages in my hand during rehearsals. Obviously not when we're recording, but during rehearsals, this kind of like my little blanket, like my little safety blanket.
Mm-hmm. So you bring up your notes and everything, and we got a question over on Facebook, because I was running the same type of campaign over on Facebook, because we've got our Facebook page and everything that we got a bunch of followers on. But one of our fans over there, Leah, asked, did you do any research into Norse mythology to help prepare you for the role over the time you were playing her?
Oh yeah. And I'm bummed because Neil Gaiman's book hadn't come. Norse mythology, which would have, I'm sure there were plenty of other books out there, but I happen to like Neil. I'm trying to think. I wish I had my notebook. So I just basically had, so it was like this. It was like one of these little guys, and I had just like pages and pages that I had printed out online. And what's interesting about, back in the day, maybe I would have used an encyclopedia, but like now you just Google anything. And so I did a lot of cross-referencing, because I noticed with a lot of these, a lot of mythology, you get different like versions, right? So
different perspectives.
Yeah, there's all these different perspectives. And is it Freya? Is it Frigg? Are Freya and Frigg the same person? There were a lot of things and that didn't necessarily really affect anything that I was doing per se, but I wanted to know it all. I wanted to read it all, and I wanted to digest it, and then sort of from there create organically what organic to me. Fun about playing Freya was that I didn't have any other Freyas to compare her to. There's not some movie where like if I was doing Wonder Woman, there's a ton of Wonder Womans or Poison Ivy or Harley Quinn or any of these like whatever. I'm just getting into the Marvel universe, but I was like, oh, it felt really like an honor to some degree in this world originate Freya
and totally create.
That's true because Jerry, you're more of a Marvel movie fan than I am, but I don't think they ever did Freya in
Thor.
No, they did not.
No, she's. I don't think
get to be the first.
She hasn't even been mentioned, but
yeah.
Maybe we can maybe we can do a campaign, get you in the next one. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do a little tweet campaign.
Hey, the way you and I have been sending out tweets this whole week with this project, we got a lot of people taking notice. So
let's do a campaign because first of all, yes, that would be like, I mean, dreams have been coming true, and like that would be like, are you kidding me? And then to be able, like, if I got to work with Cate Blanchett, I don't know. I'm just getting all like excited about it because to me, she's who I aspire. I think there's many actresses who have informed me over the years, who have inspired me, but there's just something about that woman. She's a chameleon. She's diaphanous.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I totally agree. I honestly think I'm very happy to have grown up watching her and growing up with her in her career. I feel like she's kind of our generation's, like, one of our top like cinematic actors. Like, she truly is. She
truly is.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot. Especially, you got to look at the group of actors and actresses that we're able to say that we've kind of all grown up with over the years.
We've been
Meryl,
very blessed to
I mean,
so
you got
many great talents.
Meryl Streep. I mean, you got Cate Blanchett. I mean, it's just, the list is long. I mean, even Tom Hanks, and I mean, I can remember back in the 80s watching Big, wishing I had a piano laying out over my floor.
You can get one, FOA Schwartz. You can get one. I got one for my nephews, and then they promptly destroyed it.
No way.
They're like 3, 5, and like a toddler, so they were just like destroyed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know how toddler life is.
Oh, you do? That's right. Well, God bless you. How many kids do you have?
I've got 2. So I've got my 13-year-old daughter, then I've got my soon-to-be 2-year-old son. He'll be 2 in July. So when we were talking at E3 last year, he would have been just shy of a year. And he still loves sitting with me at my desk playing games with me. To the point where,
with his controller.
Seriously, he has an old DualShock 2.
Oh my gosh.
That he plays along with. He hits his buttons. And then for those nights we want to play Switch, we actually picked him up a little Switch controller. That way he's not bugging mom when she's using the Pro controller. But he loves it.
Fair.
He loves it. He when I come home, he'll grab me and take me in the office, grab his controller, and look up at me, and it's like, let's go. So we are finishing off God of War right now. We just finished off Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man.
I mean,
so
that little boy doesn't love to spin webs in their house. It's like this, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So next question we had for you, we've got 4 more for you.
Okay.
Came from Twitter, and it was from at GothGirlVonDark, and she asked.
Von Dark.
She asked. She had a bunch of questions, and I grabbed these 2 out of there, which was, do you have a favorite cult film, and what is your favorite book?
Oh man, she's gonna slay me with those questions. My favorite book. Well, I'll tell you. Could possibly be The Mists of Avalon. I'm a huge Arthurian legend nut. Like my mom, Camelot. Anything having to do with Arthur, Camelot.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I've always been drawn to Celtic culture, which is interesting because I'm Italian, and then I was like, why am I a fairy and a queen? Um, I haven't done it personally, but my uncle, my mom's brother, did the 23andMe, and apparently we had like 30% Scottish and
Oh wow.
and British, and English, and I thought to myself, well, maybe that's why I've always longed for that area. I've always been drawn to it, and many things. And I just was in Scotland after the BAFTAs. I went there for the weekend. I haven't posted my pictures yet. I'm like waiting. Oh my God.
Oh, nice.
I did
I'm
6
super
castles.
jealous.
6 castles in 2 days. That's how hard it went.
So jealous.
But that's an impossible question. You can't ask me, like, I can't tell you my favorite movie or my favorite song or my favorite TV show. But if like you had a gun to my head, I would say something in the Arthurian legends and maybe the Mists of Avalon. And also I really liked Anne of Green Gables. And I also love Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Such a great series.
I love C.S. Lewis.
And what's funny is that series, that series, along with Lord of the Rings, was a bet between Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Even though C.S. Lewis dedicated it to his granddaughter, to Lucy, or
Lucy, it might have been.
Yeah, I can remember. It was dedicated to his granddaughter. But okay. Yeah, it was kind of a bet on who could make a fantasy series. So,
two brilliant guys in a room. I love that. Yep. And then what was the other one? It was book and
cult movie.
Well, when she says cult, like, you know, I don't know if she means a cult like the Breakfast Club, like, you know, when I was growing up.
I think they mean like the Breakfast Club or like
classic,
Mallrats, like something that got its cult following.
Yeah, okay, right. Like, did you say Mallrats?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like with Kevin Smith, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So probably anything John Hughes, like a Breakfast Club or Goonies, right? Because and then you can't really say that about Star Wars because it's the biggest.
It's like, yeah.
We're talking like little small. Oh, you know what was really interesting? And this is when I fell in love with Kate Winslet, was Heavenly Creatures. Did you guys ever see that movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Love that. Love Labyrinth. Like all those creepy.
Labyrinth, I would consider that to be a cult classic because. Okay.
Love so much Labyrinth. Like I can talk like the little worm, and of course Princess Bride, but I don't know if that's really culty.
Definitely culty.
No,
definitely culty.
That's true.
Okay. So I was just at this. I was invited to a charity gala the other night for Camp El Corazon, and there was the silent auction, and I was like, I'm not gonna bet on anything, and like literally, I'm just kind of walking around, and like something draws me to the table, and like I look down. And there are 2 tickets to the Labyrinth Ball, like full on David to be there, get dressed up like Jennifer Connelly, all my like
way
coming true.
That's crazy.
I'm like, oh God, I gotta bet on this, and I won.
Oh, that's awesome.
I won. I'm going like the big geek that I am.
Oh.
So, are you gonna get the big white puffy dress?
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out all the stops. Like I'm gonna go full on Jennifer Connelly Labyrinth.
Nice.
Jim Henson, thank you very much.
Yep. Absolutely.
Classic Bowie.
Classic Bowie. You remind me of the Babe. What was he doing with that little crystal ball? He was doing all
that little hand that they made for it so he could twirl all 3 at the same time. And
so weird. I mean, it equally creeped me out as a kid. And I was like, I was fascinated by things that like creeped me out, like Twilight Zone. I was addicted to Twilight Zone. I don't know.
All right. Which, I mean, honestly, Labyrinth, though, growing up, though, I kind of wished that same thing, that I was Jennifer Connelly and going, hey, Goblin King, come take my sibling away, you know?
Yeah, get rid of
you know?
Yeah,
so,
it's amazing I'm still alive. My brother tried to kill me all the time, so like that's why I related to it.
All right, so next question came from actually a friend of ours that actually you met at E3 last year, Mo Chocolate. Twitter handle at Mococo23. He asked, are you team Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation?
Oh, well, obviously PlayStation, right? But I will say, like from a nostalgic standpoint, like Nintendo, because well, first Atari, right? You guys are like, what's Atari? And of course you know what Atari is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we would play at the arcades and like Chuck E. Cheese. Oh man, that rat used to freak me out. Have you? I guess I like the animatronics, and they like come to life, and they're
well, I stuck to arcades, and it's funny you say that because I miss arcades. Because you can still play games and you still be social. Like that's what was so cool about it.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I mean, of course, what's so great about like watching Stranger Things is because it's such a love letter to that time. But
love
like,
it.
That's part of why I get a little nervous in the universe of games when people become a little recluse. But I mean, to each their own. Like, but what was so great about arcades is like you played skee ball and you won your tickets and you got some shit.
Yep.
Animal, so that you. And then you'd play like Miss Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, and so yeah, like I love Miss Pac-Man, I loved Super Mario, I liked getting the mushroom and getting big and getting small and Bowser and the whole nine yards. I want to find the princess, save the princess. I loved all that stuff. So as a kid, Nintendo, Atari. As an adult, PlayStation, of course.
Hey, we're not biased. I mean, granted, we're Sony fans, we're Nintendo fans, but we support all the systems here.
Your PlayStation, Sony.
So there's yes, which is funny actually. I was looking back at our shot, and I believe that I was wearing this shirt last year when we were all talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at E3.
I'm trying to remember if I remember that on you. I remember speaking with you, but I don't remember your shirt.
Yeah, I've got the picture. I can send it to you of the three of us. You, Cory, and I all sitting there. But no, I mean, honestly, you say what's Atari, but my first console was the Intellivision 2.
Oh, okay.
So, right there around Atari. So I kind of I go way back on that. But definitely Nintendo classic. You cannot beat classic Mario.
Classic Mario. I can sing that song for you right now. It's kind of haunts my nightmares. You can't get it out of your head.
It's just crazy because it's like no matter what, you hear the music, Zelda, Mario, it always brings a smile to your face. Oh, yeah. It's just it hits that nostalgic.
And the thing, and you even know the level. You even know the level that it comes from too.
You ready? Okay, so.
Yep. And then that's where I'm jumping up the platforms to go to the warp zone.
Totally. And the warp zone. I love going down the little. What were those like the little pipes like inside through the pipe? Where am I going to go now?
Yeah.
Yep.
What am I entering?
All right. So speaking of games, another follower of ours on Facebook, Austin asked, "Is there a game that you've ever stopped playing due to difficulty?"
You guys have way more faith in me than you should. I don't think I've ever had to stop because I've never started. I've never attempted to play our game. I think I should, but I get very intimidated by all those little buttons and little gadgets and little thingy dingies that I gotta do and do the thing.
Thingies.
My nephews are obsessed with Mario right now, and also Angry Birds. We do a lot of Angry Birds.
Okay.
It's like our therapy before I try to put them down, and I rub my little Freya essential oils on their feet, try to calm them down. I mean, maybe the last time, like, I loved Zelda and Tetris and stuff like that, so maybe there was a time where I was frustrated. I'm pretty darn good at Miss Pac-Man, so I don't know if I've ever had to stop because of difficulty. But, at some point, maybe one of those dang ghosts got me in the end. But no, and I should, and I really should try to play our game. I watched all the footage. I know.
Well, and you spent your Easter watching the family play it too. So
I did, and God bless my nephew Asher. He did not get very far, but they're very excited that their auntie is Freya, and they're kind of over the moon because they're like, they're video game nuts. They love it. They love it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's got to be the ultimate compliment. That's cool. And it's never too late to start.
All right.
I know. I should.
It's never too late.
They're in the Fortnite universe in a major way. They're like constantly flossing, and they're like they're doing it. I can't even like wrap my brain around it. You know? But yeah. So they but now they're of course getting into God of War, and they're just like, I think it's a little sophisticated, but they're gonna get it. They'll get it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right. So our last fan question came from one of our SoundCloud followers where we host our podcast, and it's Jerry's nemesis.
Yeah.
Jerry's nemesis. You mean like Newman? You mean like Jerry Seinfeld from Seinfeld, or you Jerry?
Jerry.
Jerry.
His nemesis on SoundCloud.
Being called out as the Valley Girl.
Yeah. From our last episode.
I do voices too.
Oh yeah? Let me hear it.
I do.
Let me hear your Valley Girl.
Oh my God. I need my latte like right now.
Oh my God, Sarah.
I can't even.
Like seriously, like just get some caffeine. Like, what is your problem? What's your damage?
I just don't even want to leave right now. I'm so comfy.
You're so comfy. I know, but you know what? You know what? You've got to get out there. You've got to get out in the world. Okay?
But I'm so lazy.
Oh my God, you whine so well.
I can't.
Yeah. So I did a little impression on our last episode, and so I got.
Yeah, and because of that impression, that's what we named the last podcast too, which is. So, anyway, so his nemesis Mike, because Mike calls him out for some things and whatnot. It's hilarious, actually. I love having that interaction with the listeners and stuff. But so since you mentioned you don't really play much at all, so I'll kind of modify his question just a slight bit. Is there a favorite game that you have that you like to watch, like your nephews and stuff play?
Yes. Well. Only take so many eggs. They fly in the air and they knock things down. I enjoy watching Mario because they have it on. It's oh God, what are all the different devices? It's not the big Nintendo, but it's more of a handheld.
The DS.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that's fun because there's these new worlds in Mario, which of course it's familiar to me because I played it as a kid. Anytime I can watch anyone play God of War, I'm just in complete and total awe because it's so beautiful. I sing their praises all the time. They're like, enough already, Danielle. We know you'll love us. And Fortnite's interesting. It's like I can understand why it's become this phenomenon with the kids. It's a really cool world. With each in a way, it's a sense of community. But I would really love to I'd like to watch someone play Death Stranding. I think that I imagine is going to look beautiful. Detroit Become Human would be like for the narrative purposes. Like I would like to see that. Of course, like The Last of Us just is so interesting. And then of course, Red Dead Redemption.
So great.
Beautiful.
Such a great movie. It's such a great game.
Yeah,
I always lose myself to. I always say such a great movie, but it's not, and it's so close to it.
Oh, and it's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it has sort of a Clint Eastwood, like that poster feels very like Clint Eastwood.
Spaghetti Western. Oh yeah.
Spaghetti Western is exactly what it feels like. Spaghetti Western.
There are times when I'm like when I play the game and I'm on the horse and I just stop and I'm just panning around, looking at the entire like forest and like the horizon. Like it's just amazing. Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt the first time I saw Sanctuary Grove in God of War. Where Freya lives. And then all of a sudden this big turtle starts arising, and I'm living underneath it. It was very like never-ending story moment.
Yeah.
Which
And that's actually what I got a lot of that from the game too, and which is why it was one of my favorite games pretty much of all time now, not just the year. But what I loved about the game is like when you hit certain areas, there was such a tone when it was like when you're in Freya's area, it was very colorful, very nature, and there was a lot of the snow that like gave it more of a darker tone, like going through a hard path. It was just it was just done so well, and I can't stop saying great things about the game. But it was just you really go through such a story and a ride through the game.
Neverending Story is also another one of my favorite, like, sort of culty, strange.
I would call that a cult.
That's a great
classic.
Wow, I mean, it goes a little out there. And so of course, like, Atreyu was the name from that, right? Atreyu and Atreus, and then the turtle with like the big turtle and Neverending Story. And I mean, obviously, like, Cory, I was like, one time I was in the ADR booth and like Cory and I were like going back and forth with all these like fantasy 80s and like 90s films, like quotes back and forth. And I was like,
awesome.
We grew up in the same house. I'm like, get out of my head. It was so
amazing.
Yeah, I think What Dreams May Come also really inspired the colors. I don't know if you guys have seen that film.
Fantastic movie, and Robin Williams.
Yeah, one of Robin Williams, one of his best movies and most underrated movies, I think. It was such a great movie.
So good with the sentiment of it was so beautiful, and like you'll never forget those colors. And when I first saw Sanctuary Grove, I was like hit me with both those films, and obviously a love letter that Cory put out there, and that's just someone who's been watching great films his whole life, and he had an opportunity to sort of do his interpretation or versions or the worlds he wanted to create, which he was inspired by. So yeah.
All right, so our last question that we usually ask of all of our guests, it's a whole kind of to our podcast name and everything, and the website is, when you get together with your friends and family, okay, what is your favorite game to play with them? Whether it's board game, it doesn't matter, but what is your favorite game to play with everybody for game night when you have them?
Oh God, there's so many games for game night. So there was a kick where we were doing Mexican trained dominoes. Have you guys ever played that game?
I have not.
No.
Yeah. It's like a variation of like the dominoes game. There's another game we like to do called Balderdash, or just like Dictionary, where you find an obscure word and everybody writes down what they think the definition is, or their best version of the definition.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's funny. Yep. I like that one.
As a writer, it's a lot of fun, and it's just so funny what people can come up with, or like if you choose one and you think it's the right one and it's not. And of course, Pictionary is always fun. Cranium's always fun, and then we do this one sometimes called is it called Celebrity? It might be called Celebrity, where so you pick like a celebrity or a political figure, whatever, and the first round you're able to do charades, and maybe you're allowed to say, I think you're allowed to do the second round you only do one motion, and then the third round you're only able to say one word. I can't, I'm totally screwing this up right now. But
We're just making up a new game right now.
Yeah, I am.
I love it.
You're like, so much. No, it's really, really bad.
Trademark it right now.
So like you're able to do, I know what it is. You're able to do like, I know what it is. It's like Taboo. Is it like Taboo? Taboo's another favorite game of mine. Do you guys like that one?
Yes.
I haven't played that one in ages.
I haven't played it in a while.
You have the word, and then there's just certain words that you can't say as you're describing the word, or they like buzz a buzzer, like right in your ear.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna get back to you on this other game that I think is called Celebrity, but it's like you're able to describe it with a certain amount of words. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. You're able to describe it saying what it is. Let's say it's Madonna, right? And you're like, you just be like, I'm a material girl. So then you're like, Madonna, right? Okay. So then the second time you can't say anything, it's charade. So you would do this motion, and then hopefully people remember that it's Madonna.
Okay.
Like,
with the cone bra and everything.
And then the third time you could only say one word, and you would say material, and then you'd hope people would remember it was Madonna. So it's sort of this process of elimination.
Okay.
So you really have to be paying very close attention to the first round to be able to follow as it whittles down.
Okay.
Come on, guys. That sounds exciting, right?
That's
That
pretty
could be
good.
fun.
I like
mean,
that.
but
It's pretty fun.
That's
definitely not a drinking game.
There's usually drinks that are involved in
I mean, you can turn almost anything into a drinking game.
Yeah.
True. It's true.
Especially with you two.
Hey, now, King's Cup is not a made-up game, and Jerry did okay at it. He needs to learn a little bit, but he played with the master.
Yeah, I just like to drink. It was just fun.
So
It's
King's Cup is a drinking game that you play with a deck of cards, and each person around the table picks up a face-down card, and each card has a different value and a different rule associated with it. So, like, if you pick up 2, you pick a person to take a drink because 2 is for you. A big thing is if you pick up a king, you pick a rule that everybody has to do before they drink. And thankfully, I got a few kings the first time that I was playing with Jerry, and got him to thrust on the floor every time that he had to drink.
Yeah.
I
was not part of that.
And if you don't remember the rules, you have to take another
drink
drink
again
every time. Yeah.
So it's a game for alcoholics. Like, clearly this.
Oh
is,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And I am
Not that we condone that, but.
No.
I am happy to say I was not part of that. I was sleeping.
Everybody listening, drink responsibly.
Yes.
Drink responsibly, please.
Yep.
Call an Uber.
Exactly. So, well, Danielle, we know that you've got Dwight in Shining Armor. The episodes hasn't come out just yet that you've been in, but
It has. I'm in episode.
where is it? You're in 4? Are you? Okay, so I haven't caught it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I'm in episode 4, Lotions and Potions.
Okay.
And then I'm coming up in an episode called Winnie, which is about a wyvern. Do you know what a wyvern is?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, it depends on what game, because like for me, wyverns in like Final Fantasy and stuff are like a dragon type creature.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
In our lore, like in our mythology or lore of our show, it's a water dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe like a Loch Ness or something like that. But it's a real. I mean, you guys, are you guys watching the show? I'm saying that.
I started watching.
I just started it.
So
yeah.
I just finished episode 2. So
I think the gaming community is gonna love it. It's like if you love Monty Python, Princess Bride kind of humor. It has a little bit of Freaks and Geeks because Dwight's like this super geeky, wonderful like high schooler kid. We're having the best time. We got picked up for another 20 episodes, so there's going to be a lot more Dwight in Shining Armor coming at you. And it is right now exclusively on BYU TV, but I'm hoping that there might be a further distribution in the future because there are some countries that don't have it, like Goth Girl Von Dark is very upset because she cannot watch. Which I'm so sorry, Goth. By night I am so sorry, and I hope you'll be able to see Dwight in Shining Armor soon. But and what's great about it too is it's a family show, so you can feel comfortable watching it with any age demographic, and there's something for everybody.
Awesome.
I've been watching it on the BYU TV app.
Good.
So that might be something for her to look into is the BYU TV app. I'm not sure what country she's in, but
Colombia.
it'd be something. It's a good question whether or not they have it down there or not.
It is a good question. And
Who knows?
But yes, so please, Dwight, yes, and support our show. It's so great. You'll love it. There's all sorts of fun, mythical, crazy creatures, and I play a witch.
So that being said, so you've said you've also got your short film project and stuff like that. So when can people expect to see your new work outside of Dwight in Shining Armor?
Good question. Thank you. Well, we won the jury prize for best short films, which helped us with our starting funds. And we are in the process of casting and locking down our locations and all that fun pre-production stuff, which is sometimes nerve-wracking, but it's all coming together. We've got some great cast already attached. We are still looking for some very vital characters. And I'm going to shoot this here in Los Angeles at the end of May. The name of the short film is Little May. We're shooting Little May in May. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I literally am like hopping on a plane to Atlanta, which I can now say is where I'm shooting the next 20 episodes of White and Shining Armor, which I'm super stoked.
Nice.
That's where
Awesome.
they do Dead, and I'm like, oh, Walking Dead could be fun. And that could be a fun. I'm like really ready to be in Atlanta and get involved in some projects when I'm not shooting. There's so much, it's like a burgeoning city. It's happening. There's so many great projects that are happening in Atlanta, so I'm excited to be there.
Very, very nice. Well, Danielle, I want to absolutely thank you for crashing game nights with us tonight, as well as all of our listeners. Of course, if you like what you heard, please let us know. And don't forget to follow us on our podcast platforms, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Also, don't forget to follow our news channel on Apple News under Crashing Game Night. I want to say, everyone, be excellent to each other and stay frosty.
Later, nerds.
Later, geeks and freaks. I love ya.
All right. Good night, everybody.